Hi guys, and welcome back to another guide of how we can use Google Scripts and automation to enhance our work life and workflow. So today we're going to be looking at automatically sending an email based on a Google script and what we've got in a Google Sheet. So in this example, we'll create a script that automatically sends an email when a specific value is entered into a Google Sheet. So I'll take you through it step by step and we will fire a code and we'll have it working in a test environment. So the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, what is a Google script? Well, a Google script is a cloud-based scripting language that can automate various tasks within Google products, and it allows you to write a code and interact with Google Sheets, Google Docs, Gmail and other Google services. You can use Google Scripts to perform various tasks, from simple data manipulation to a complex workflow automation. For more information and a complete beginner's guide to Google Scripts, head over to Amazon and check out my new book, A Beginner's Guide to Google Scripts, Unleashing the Power of Automation. It gives you 10 examples of testing code and it explains what each line means, and it really will give you that perfect platform to start designing and building your own automation workflow. So with that said, guys, let's move on and let's start working on some code.
So the first thing we're going to want to do, guys, is we're going to go and create a brand new spreadsheet. So go into your Gmail and open up a new spreadsheet. And then we're going to want to give our spreadsheet a name. So for the purpose of this, I'm just going to call it emails. Once we've created the name for our spreadsheet, we just want to create two column headers. So the first one, we're going to call that status. The next one is going to be email address. So once we've got our two column headers, we want to go up here, click on extensions, and then click on app script. And that is going to open up a new tab with our app script. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a function name, or give our function a name. So we're going to call it send emails. From there, now we're ready to write our code. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to call in a variable, which we're going to call upon later. Give that a name, sheet, and we need to call in our active spreadsheet. So we're going to go to spreadsheet app dot get active sheet. That's now called in our active spreadsheet. So from there, we need to call in our last row of data. So another variable, and we'll call that last row. And that is going to equal to sheet dot get last row. Okay, so this is a really simple script, guys. So if you need to pause it, please do. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here forever, aren't I? So from there, we're going to go and get the value in that last row. So it's another variable. We'll call that value. And that is going to equal to sheet dot get range. And then we're going to be looking in column A. So what we're saying is, in the last row of column A, we want to get value. So dot get value. So as I've said, in this row of data here, what we're looking at is we're looking at getting that last row of data in column A, and we want to get the value in that last cell. So now we are ready to open up our loop. So we're going to go to if. And what we want to do is we want to look at the value of that last row of data. And what we want to say is, if it's send, then we want to be able to send fire off an email. As always, because we're inside of a loop now, we need those curly brackets, and we write anything that's going to happen inside of that loop, inside these curly brackets, much like you would do a formula in a normal spreadsheet. So now we need to grab an email address from somewhere. So we're going to create a variable, and we're going to call that email address. And that is going to equal to sheet. It's going to be get range. And then we want to look at column B, which is where our email addresses are going to be stored, plus last row, because we want to look in that last row of the data in column B. And then we want to get the value. From there, we now need to start thinking about how we're going to construct our email. So the very first thing we do is we create a subject header, don't we? That subject can be whatever you want it to be. So for this example, we're going to call it automatic email. So the subject of every email that is sent from here is going to be automatic email. Now this could be something that changes depending on the data in a spreadsheet, and if that is so, you just need to know, or you need to be able to tell it where that subject is, or where you want to declare that subject in the spreadsheet. For example, if the subject is going to be in C, we could easily write subject here, and we could have different subjects for each line, and then we could just put another row of data in there, for example, where we could literally copy that, and we could paste it there, and we could, instead of having B, we could have C. So then subject would be whatever we write in here. So automatic email. So that could be a constantly changing subject depending on the row of data. Again, we could do a similar thing with the body, but for now we're not going to do that. So var body. So this is going to be the detail that is written inside the email. So this equals, this is an automatic email sent from Google Scripts. So that gives us the body of text that is going to be inside the email. So now what we need to do is we need to pull all that together, and we need to open up the Gmail app. So to do that, we're just going to type in Gmail app dot send email, and then we're going to do email address dot subject, well, not dot, comma, sorry, subject, comma, body. And that then gives us our script. Now all we need to do now is we need to fill this in. So if we want line 2 to send, we need to actually type send in there. Now, of course, again, we could have another script that could run to say, okay, do we need to send this email? Well, let's write send in there so we can fire this trigger off. So we're also going to write in email address. So I'm going to type in test@gmail.com. Now, of course, nobody's ever going to receive that, but we can have a look at that through a sent folder. So that is our row of data. Now, there is one more line that I would want to do here. And I would want to go to that last row, and I'd want to change that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this line 4 here, and I'm not going to declare it as a variable. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste it in here, and instead of having set get value there, I'm going to change that to set value, and then inside here I'm going to write sent. So that would mean that if this was to ever run again, we're not going to send the same email out twice. So I'm just going to save that. And I'm now going to send or run this script. So of course, the first time you run it, you've got to go through the normal review. So just make sure that you allow those permissions. That's going to run. That's going to send. So now let's go to our emails. So as you can see, I've got an email in there. Now I'll have a bounce back because obviously that email don't exist. But as you can see, this is an automatic email. It's pulled in the subject of automatic email. And if we go back into our sheet, that should now say sent. So if we run that again, it will never send that same email. So we can test that one more time. So we can type in send there, and we can just go auto generated email this time. We'll run that one more time. And then if we go back into our emails, we've got an auto-generated email. So that is that script. Now, if you found this interesting, as I mentioned earlier, I've got my new book, which is now on Amazon, available in paperback and on Kindle. You can pay $3.99 for the Kindle version, or if you've got Kindle Unlimited, you can download that for free. Also, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you're working on. Tell me anything that you're stuck on. I'll always try and help you. You'll find me on various Facebook groups as well, just helping people out with a little bit of code that they're stuck with. So I'm very active on there. But as always, guys, until next time, enjoy and happy scripting.